I'm George Michalowski with Pittsburgh Sports Now.
And I'm Jamarius Burton. Welcome to the Just Buckets podcast.
Hey guys, Jamarius here. I want to thank the Scoring Factory for sponsoring the Just Buckets podcast. The Scoring Factory provides top-notch, detail-oriented training for basketball players of all ages in the Pittsburgh area. I go to Pete Strobel at the Scoring Factory to fine-tune the details of my game by focusing on the individual skills that have gotten me to this level. Come get some at the Scoring Factory. Welcome back to another episode of the Just Buckets podcast. I am Jamarius Burton, and this is the Pitt Band edition. We have a special guest, Miss Kayla Valles.
Thank you for welcoming me, JB.
Thank you for, joining the podcast. I want to first start with your childhood. You're a Pittsburgh native.
Yes, I am.
Talk a little bit about growing up in Pittsburgh and, just your experience being here.
Okay. Well, I grew up in a town called Bridgeville, which is about, I'd say 20, 30 minutes south of downtown, with my mom and my stepdad, and then my little cute puppy, Holly, who I adore. She's a brat, but I love her. Mm-hmm. And I went to a school called Chartiers Valley, which is right off of I-79. And then I went to CCAC. Mm-hmm. And then I transferred from there my freshman year to what we call Pitt.
Got you. You mentioned, the schools that you went to growing up.
Yeah.
When did you get introduced to, music? Was it, in the early stages of your life by a family member or anything like that? Or was it, in school that, you first got the interest and started, really digging and diving into music?
So funny story. So my biological dad, when I used to see him, he told me that when I was 4 years old, I told him that music was my life, that singing was my life when I was 4. And then I've just been obsessed with music since that age on. I was in the choir, I was in concert band, I was in dance, like all sorts of stuff that had to do with music, everything pretty much.
Mm-hmm. And what was your first song that, you really fell in love with, that, you really learned every lyric to the song?
I'd say Willow Smith Whip My Hair. That was my favorite song for a long time. I don't know if it's just because it was a good song with a good beat or that I saw another black girl that was out there finally, and I'm like, oh, I can relate, and I can whip my hair no matter if it's long or short, like they say in the lyrics.
Yeah. So did you perform in any talent shows growing up?
I almost did, but not really. Like, I would come up with the idea, like, hey, I'm going to practice this song. Then I'd practice it, and I'm like, I ain't doing it.
I understand that. I mean, I actually participated in a talent show growing up, but it wasn't basketball. It was, me and my friends, we had like a little group or whatever. It was like 3 of us or 2 of us. And we had, we would do flipping and stuff like that.
Oh, gosh. Oh, my.
So, yeah, I performed in a talent show one time, and that's what we did. We did like a little dance and flipping routine, and it was pretty cool.
Did you win?
I don't think we won.
Wow. Do better.
Yeah. That's when I let it go. That's when I put the flipping down. I, picked up the basketball.
There you go.
But, obviously I know you from being here at Pitt, and being at the games and everything like that. Can you explain to the audience, what instrument you play and, when you developed that passion to play that instrument and how long it took you to really, get to the level you are at now?
Hey, what do you recommend on the menu?
That's the Top Gunner.
I'll take the Top Gunner.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
My first instrument, I'll start from there. My first instrument I played was the clarinet in 5th grade, and I wanted to start playing an instrument because in my 4th grade class, I saw people walking in and out of class early with
Yeah.
their instruments, and I'm like, well, maybe I want to leave class early or
Uh huh.
something. So then I started playing that. I wanted to play the flute originally, but when we did our test to see what kind of instrument we played, because that's how they tested us out, they said either the flute or the clarinet. And I was like, oh, the flute seems pretty, but my mom found a clarinet that was like $30 at a garage sale. So she's like, you're playing the clarinet. I'm like, oh, that's fair. And I played that up to senior year in concert band, but then I switched to the alto sax at the end of 8th grade into freshman year because we didn't have clarinets in our marching band at my school, or show band, I guess that's what we call it. And the way that I chose that, to be honest, I was like, what's the blackest instrument I can play?
Yeah.
And I was like, alto sax is the blackest instrument. So I switched to that, and I've just been with that since 8th grade, playing it here. And yeah, that's the vibe.
Got you. If you could give anybody, a kid growing up, some advice, what tools or things would you tell them, to practice on, or that could possibly help them to become a better, musician?
I'd say, honestly, just go with what you think is best for yourself. Don't try to copy other people. Like, for example, if you're trying to like sing high in a song that you really like, but it's not in your like singing key, then don't rely on trying to sing that song because it's not in your key. So that's not you.
Right.
So you should try to sing like in your own key, because everybody's voice is going to be different and everybody's playing is going to be different. Like, I play the alto sax like a different way with the mouthpiece than usual people. So it's like, you just got to go with what you're comfortable with and like what speaks to you pretty much.
Got you. You also mentioned that you went to another school before you came to Pittsburgh. I did the exact same thing. Can you talk a little bit about, your transfer journey and how you got into the Pitt band? Because I don't know if they recruited you from where your past school, or, can you just talk about that process?
So what happened was that originally I wanted to go to Pitt. So to start from the beginning will probably be easier. So in 11th grade, Pitt band had a band day where we had bands from different high schools, bands from different universities, and like cheer teams and dance teams from schools and stuff. So when I was on the cheer team, I went with my cheer team there for the band day. Interestingly, not with our band, but I went there, and then we were able to stay for one of the football games. And then when I saw the pregame for Pitt band and I saw them run through that smoke out of the tunnels and stuff with their instruments, I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, everyone else was more excited about the game and talking and stuff, but I was just literally leaning forward in my seat. I was like, I'm going to be in that band.
Yeah.
No matter what, I said I was going to be in that band. And then I was going to go to Pitt my freshman year, but then like loans and stuff like that. So then I had a better chance of going into Duquesne. So I was going to go to Duquesne, but a week before that, we found out we needed another loan. So CCAC was the choice.
Yeah.
And it was sort of easy to do that. I'm not saying all classes there are easy, but for me, it was easy with my major because it was online because of COVID. So like all my classes were online. So I just did them from home and then went to like my full-time job right after that.
Yeah.
And it made it a lot easier because I could just pick up shifts if I wanted to make more money to pay it off. And then since I was a transfer, it was easier for me to get into Pitt.
Okay.
So I did that, and then I sent in the audition video for playing my instrument. And then an hour later, it was accepted.
Yeah.
So I was just like, oh, yay. And I was in the middle of a Walmart when I found out I made it into, like, Pitt and then Pitt band, and I was just like...
Did you start crying in the Walmart?
I didn't cry. I'm not a big crier. I was... Like, when I get, like, happy or shocked about stuff, like, it doesn't hit me till later. I just, like, freeze on the inside. I'm, like, doing cartwheels and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm just, like, I made it. Okay. This is going to happen.
Yeah, your dream.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it happened, yeah.
So, you talked about your audition video. Can you walk us through the preparation that it went into making that video? Because I'm sure there's going to be kids back home that have the same dream as you, and they're going to be one day in your position, ready to submit an audition video.
Yeah, about that. Yeah. So because of like COVID and stuff, and I went to CCAC, I had like 2 years off from
Mhm.
playing like the alto sax. So it was interesting picking it back up again.
Mhm.
And then, of course, the audition song that year was like Captain America. So it was like all these high, fast notes, high notes, low notes. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. So I made it work though.
Mhm.
Somehow I made it work
How
because I
much
made
practice it took you to make it work?
it in. I practiced for a few days before,
Uh-huh.
but when it finally came like to the day where I was gonna turn it in, I'm like, I need to just do it,
Yeah.
get it over with, and like
You
I
got in your did you just get in that mode?
I tried to. I was mostly just like, let's just get this over with, and I recorded it a few times, and I was like, whichever recording sounds better, I'll send that in. So
Mhm. But thank God that, it worked out and that, you're living your dream.
oh yeah.
Let's talk about because you said running out there through that smoke on a football field was always your dream, right? Let's
Mhm.
talk about a little bit about basketball. You were
All
there
right.
last year, obviously. The atmosphere was a little bit different. And then you were here this year.
Yeah.
Explain to the viewers a little bit about the experience, being at the games and doing it on the basketball side too. The Just Buckets podcast is brought to you by the Oaklander Hotel, where relaxed luxury meets incomparable services. Located in the heart of Pittsburgh's Oakland neighborhood, they provide extraordinary service and an upscale experience you won't forget. Book the Oaklander Hotel, the best spot for your next stay.
I'd say like the basketball side is more fun because it's like more laid back, so you're not as stressed out. Because
Mhm.
with football, we have like pregame, we have halftime, then we have all the concerts and stuff we do before. With like basketball, we just have like sometimes the Star Spangled Banner, and then we have like short fun tunes that we play like on timeouts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'd say it's like more of like a laid back where you can just straight up have fun.
Mhm.
And with like the football season, it's more like strict, I'd say. So
Yeah.
like that just makes the basketball season more fun, and getting to watch like the team for free and like front row seats is pretty cool too.
Yeah. Um, y'all came with us on March Madness,
Yes.
and the conference tournament, right?
Yes.
Explain to the viewers, that experience and just how it was traveling with us.
I didn't go on the ACC trip, but I heard
Uh-huh.
it was like a lot of fun from other bandies and stuff like that. It was
Uh-huh.
interesting going on the March Madness trip though, because obviously we haven't been there in like a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So it was pretty interesting to see all of that. And then being able to go on the airplane with you guys instead of taking a bus, that would have been annoying.
Yeah.
And it was just fun, especially the first game, I'd say, when we were at the University of Dayton, I think.
Yeah.
And just the stadium was so packed.
Yeah.
And like just like the vibe the stadium gave off, like the dark coloring of the stadium was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And just like looking around, seeing how much fun like some of the bandies were having, like standing up, like yelling, like you shouldn't have made that call or something. Or it's
Yeah.
like, let's go. I'm just like, wow, they're really into this, which is good, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's like I'm like, it's pretty nice, especially like how we got to also meet like other bands too. Like
Mm-hmm.
the first night we got to meet the University of Kentucky, I'd say, when we were in Greensboro, where we always go. We were in Greensboro, North Carolina. We hung out with them. We played water volleyball and stuff like that in the pool. And then we did that. And then we went to the mall with another band. I forget what the other band was called. Oh, no. The other band was University of Kentucky.
Okay.
University of Montana, so we played
In the pool.
in the pool with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, both schools. But yeah, it was fun meeting new people, and then our band director was pretty hyped the entire time, and then getting to try out new restaurants and stuff. And honestly, I know nothing about basketball, but when I went on that trip, I was so focused on it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, we need to win this. We need to do this. We need to do this.
Yeah.
Like, come on, guys. Like, I've never been so hype about basketball before until I went to March Madness.
Definitely. And I'm glad y'all were there. Y'all definitely gave us that boost. One thing that y'all always do for us, leading out into those tournaments is those walkout concerts that y'all do, leaving the hotel to get on the bus to go to the games. Can you explain a little bit about that and that experience as well?
So for that, I'm gonna be honest, we wait like at least 30 minutes for you guys to come out. So we're standing out there for a minute.
Uh-huh.
And we start warming up, and then we practice with some tunes, maybe like Snakes on a Plane or like The Kids Aren't All Right or something, which are some of our favorite ones because we can dance to those while playing.
Yeah.
And like whenever the cheerleaders yell out certain stuff or the dance team yells out certain stuff, we usually join them too, which is sort of nice. And then no matter what we're doing, it's hilarious. No matter what we're doing, we could be in the middle of playing Snakes on a Plane or something and doing like squats and playing. And then all of a sudden, Doc, our band director, Bradley Townsend, he would be like, okay, the team's coming out. Stop playing that and start playing Victory. And it's like, oh, okay. And then you got to jump right into Victory. Like, forget the other song, Victory. Every single time a player would walk out, every single time. And it's like, it's really cool, but it's also like, oh, we're doing this now.
Yeah. Alliance 412's mission is to connect the University of Pittsburgh's student athletes with local and national companies, charity organizations, and the community to create lasting relationships. Alliance 412 provides student athletes the opportunity to enhance their life and professional skills. 412 Boxing is Pittsburgh's national youth boxing nonprofit. They give under-resourced Pittsburgh city youth an opportunity to learn to box and nationally compete. This offseason, I got my cardio and strength right at the 412 Boxing Gym. I appreciate y'all. Before we get off, again, I want to appreciate you coming on.
Thank you for having me.
We got a Fuel by Roots segment. And one thing that I want to ask you before we get off is, what is one thing that you must do before every game, whether it's a football game or a basketball game, to help you prepare, to go out there and perform?
Self-care. You need self-care because, are we allowed to curse on here?
No.
Okay. I wasn't going to curse anyway. I just wanted to ask that. I was curious. But, yeah, if you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of your stuff. That's a quote by me that I created 2 weeks ago. So self-care. Do it. I support it.
Y'all heard it here. Miss Kayla Valles says self-care is the key, for allowing her to do what she do. Again, I appreciate you coming on the Just Buckets podcast. It was a pleasure having y'all at every game. Y'all definitely gave us the energy that we needed.
Thank you for having us there.
And again, H2P. See y'all next time.